The Soundpeats T2 have just hit the market, and they are bringing the features that we have been waiting for from Soundpeats at a low price. Active noise cancellation, ambient sound, along with some exceptional battery life. Now, in this video, we're going to be pitting them up against their natural competitor, the EarFun Free Pro. Both of these earbuds have a lot in common, so we got plenty to talk about in this video. Now, as always, anything I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm going to leave links to in the description box right down below. And if you have any questions or concerns about the way that I receive or review any of these products, check out the full disclosure that I'm going to leave in the description box as well. Now, both of these earbuds have a ton of things in common. They both run Bluetooth 5.2 and they both use AAC and SBC as their connection codecs. As far as Bluetooth range, you can expect anywhere from 35 to 42 feet, respectively. They both also have dual connect, and by that I mean that you can listen to these earbuds individually while you leave the other one charging in its case. Now, it works very, very well for those who need to use that feature. They both also feature hybrid active noise cancellation and ambient sound modes. And last but not least, they both use USB Type-C for charging. So now let's get into where they differentiate themselves from each other. So first off, the battery life. So in my testing on these earbuds, I tested both of them at 75% volume with both ANC turned on and off. So let's start there. The winner of the battery life is going to be the Soundpeats T2. Let's get into the numbers. So with active noise cancellation turned on, the Soundpeats T2 managed to pull 6 hours and 48 minutes, where the EarFun Free Pro managed to pull off 6 hours and 17 minutes. Now, with active noise cancellation turned off, the Soundpeats T2 managed to pull off 9 hours and 4 minutes versus the EarFun Free Pro's 8 hours and 40 minutes. So as you can see, the clear winner here for battery life is going to be the Soundpeats T2, usually somewhere around half an hour difference in my testing. Very, very clear win for Soundpeats here. Now let's move over to the comfort, but let me preface this by saying that comfort is highly subjective and everybody's ears are different, so user experience will vary. But I just want to share my experience with you based on my own usage. As far as comfort goes, the win is going to go to the EarFun Free Pro. It is a noticeably smaller earbud, and it is also much lower profile. It sits in my ear a bit deeper, and I don't have any comfort problems with these. Wearing both of them for a 3-hour session, right around 2.5 hours, I started really kind of noticing the chunkiness of the Soundpeats T2 versus the EarFun Free Pro. So as far as comfort is concerned, the EarFun Free Pro is the winner for me. Now, to be clear, the Soundpeats T2 is by no means the biggest, chunkiest earbud on the market. We're just talking in comparison relatively to the EarFun Free Pro, which happens to be one of the most lowest profile earbuds that you can buy with noise cancellation. Just wanted to make that clear. Both of them are great, but the EarFun Free Pro are definitely more comfortable. So now let's move over to the controls. So both of these are featuring touch control as their control scheme. Now, to take away a point from both of them, neither of these give you the ability to do reverse track. Kind of a trip, but there are so many things that need to be controlled that something had to go. Both of them still allow you to use play pause, volume up and down, track skip forward, activating noise cancellation and ambient sound. And with the EarFun Free Pro, you still get the option of activating the low latency or gaming mode. But as far as touch control itself is concerned and daily usage, the Soundpeats T2 were more responsive in my testing. So whereas every now and then I would have to repeat a command to get the EarFun Free Pro to actually do what I'm asking it to do, the Soundpeats T2 didn't fail me a single time. So they seem to be a bit more responsive when it comes to the actual touch surface. So that's why they are going to get the win for the control scheme. Now, before we move into the next section, I got a question for you. What do you feel is more important in a set of earbuds? Do you use noise canceling more or do you use that ambient sound more? Which is more important to you? Let me know down in the comment section. So now let's move over into the performance of these earbuds. So first up, let's talk about that ambient sound mode. So for me, the clear winner here is going to be the Soundpeats T2. The ambient sound on this is much clearer and it has a higher volume level than what you're getting out of the EarFun Free Pro. It is a noticeable difference where it's much easier for you to talk with family members inside your house or to hear cars going by, things of that nature. The EarFun Free Pro still sounds good, but it is of a lower volume, so sometimes things can sound a little bit muffled. So between these two, the win was very easy for the Soundpeats T2 when it comes to the ambient sound. Next up, the active noise cancellation. So while both of these are featuring hybrid ANC, even on paper, one of them was already better than the other. The EarFun Free Pro were claiming up to negative 28 dB reduction, where the Soundpeats T2 were claiming up to a negative 30 dB reduction. But the difference is far more noticeable when you're actually using them. Now, as far as my active noise cancellation test, what I do is I actually play the sound of a airliner, the interior cabin sound at cruising altitude. Turn that up to right around 80 to 85 decibels, so it sounds very realistic. And then I go ahead and activate the noise canceling and see which one does a better job of drowning out that internal jet noise. In that testing, the Soundpeats T2 did a far better job of lowering that volume versus the EarFun Free Pro. Now, I don't think this is purely because of the noise cancellation, but I think it's also a combination of improved passive noise isolation of the Soundpeats T2. Once you place them in your ear, the slightly larger size seals in your ear better, so it's allowing less sound to get through. Combine that with stronger active noise cancellation, and the difference is easily noticeable. So the win here goes to the Soundpeats T2 for the stronger active noise cancellation performance. So next up, let's talk about the volume. As far as a winner between these two for volume, it's going to be the EarFun Free Pro. It isn't by a lot, but it is a noticeable difference. So it's about 2 ticks louder than what you're getting out of the Soundpeats T2. So essentially, when you turn up the Soundpeats T2 all the way, that's about 90% on the EarFun Free Pro. So they are definitely louder when it comes to these two. So the win for volume goes to the EarFun Free Pro. Now, as far as sound quality is concerned, for me, the winner of the sound quality here is going to be the EarFun Free Pro, but let me explain why. So both of these are going to be bringing you a nice amount of bass, good punch, good sub bass rumble. Both of them are going to have that sort of neutral mid-range to them. Nothing really forward, nothing too in your face, but it still sounds good. And then they're going to bring you some nice treble clarity, with the EarFun Free Pro being slightly more clear, a bit more smooth, so voices come in a little bit crispier over the Soundpeats T2. But what the Soundpeats T2 bring you is a slightly more open, slightly more airy sound, almost like a wider sound stage out of a true wireless earbud. So they both have their strength and weakness. One of them is going to give you a wider stage, and one of them is going to give you a bit more treble. So it really comes down to which one you're going to prefer. For me personally, I prefer the sound of the EarFun Free Pro. That is just me. Feel free to disagree, but out of these two, that's going to be my choice. But let me be completely clear, because whoever picks up either of these two, it's a win. They both sound really, really good, and they both bring you a lot of performance, so you really can't go wrong with either of these choices. But for me personally, the EarFun Free Pro sound better to me. Now, obviously, the choice is going to come down to what you personally prefer. So based on the testing, from what I can see, if you're that person who needs a bit more stronger ANC for your situation and maybe a little less sound quality, then go with the Soundpeats T2. But if you want that extra bit of sound quality, maybe you don't need ANC as much, but it's nice to have, then obviously the earphones are going to be the way that you want to go. So either way, it's a win. You just got to figure out what it is that you need more, ANC or peak sound quality, right? Pretty straightforward there. So now let's get into some call quality samples. This way you can hear them for yourself to see which one is better for you.
All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Soundpeats T2. Obviously, we're outdoors, and it's pretty windy today, so this should be a good test for these microphones. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the EarFun Free Pro. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, once again, we're outdoors. It is actually pretty windy today, so this should be a good test for the microphone wind cancellation. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the call quality test for the Soundpeats T2 in an indoor environment. Semi-quiet, a little bit of background fan noise from my computer, but that's about it. So that's what these are going to sound like in an indoor environment. All right, so here we have the EarFun Free Pro True Wireless Earbuds. This is the microphone test in a semi-quiet environment indoors. A little bit of background noise from the PC. That's about it. So testing, 1, 2, 3. This is what these are going to sound like in an indoor environment. As always, you're going to have to be the judge of the call quality. down in the comment section.
Now, if you're interested in more information on either of these earbuds, check out the videos that I'm going to leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, I'm out. Peace.